Hey guys, it's Benedictines the vegan, back again and doing it the way that I used to do it. People that have discovered my channel a year ago, 2 years ago, know that this is how I used to do it. But now things are going to be much better because I'm able to move around freely. Back then I was just stand in one position, but now I can move around freely. Today, I was thinking a lot about other solutions. People in this world are suffering, and I think that the best thing that we can do is not have children. But I was thinking, are there other solutions? Or antinatalism is the only solution that we have? Can society become better? Can we solve some of the problems that we have? Or really we can't solve the problems that we have? Because if we cannot solve the problems that we have and we're still having children, they are going to suffer because we have hope. We believe that they are going to make things better. Then they come into this world and not manage to make things better and end up suffering. Suffering is a big deal. Because people act like suffering is good. Like it is good that people are suffering. One thing that you must remember is that the people that are suffering in this world, they didn't even ask to be in this world. They're just here suffering because some people felt like it was good to bring them into this world. They didn't ask to be in this world. So when you really think about it, it's really unfair that there are people that are suffering in this world because they were brought into this world without their consent. There are people that are ending their lives in this world because they are suffering in a world that they didn't even consent to being born into. That's really unfair. But one thing that I've realized about humans is that they just decide what's right or wrong without really thinking deeply about what's right or wrong. They just decided, okay, this is right. We're going to do this because this is right. Oh, this is wrong. They just look at whether what they feel is right is benefiting them or not. If they're doing something that's not benefiting them, they'll decide that it's wrong. If it's benefiting them, they'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, this is right. Because when you think about it, it's obvious that there's something wrong with bringing people into a world where they're going to suffer. If you know that they're going to suffer, then you shouldn't be bringing them into a world where you know they're going to suffer. That's if you are really honest with yourself. That's something that is obvious. It's obvious that it's not right to bring people into a world where they're going to suffer if you cannot get their consent. It isn't something that we should be debating. But I understand that humans are selfish. I'm selfish. I'm a human. I understand that we're all selfish. There are just few people that have realized that, you know what? I don't have to bring another person into this world. Some of us thought that we had to bring another human into this world. I grew up thinking that I had to bring another human into this world. I even thought that I wanted to bring another human into this world. It was only after I realized that something wasn't right with this world that I was like, you know what? I ain't bringing nobody else into this world. Ain't no way that I'm going to decide to bring a child into this world. And I really appreciate the fact that I have suffered, because if I did not suffer, I would not have realized that bringing people into this world is actually wrong. I would not have realized that. It isn't something that you just realize. It's not obvious because we live in a world where we're being lied to every day. We live in a world where critical thinking is not allowed. People are not encouraged to think critically. We're just walking around like zombies, doing whatever we're programmed to do. That is why I wasn't able to realize that no, actually there's something wrong with bringing innocent people into a world where they will have to fight. Because once a person is brought here, they gotta fight. It's not like when a person is here, they're just gonna chill and just be happy. It doesn't work that way. You gotta fight. You gotta fight for your survival. You gotta fight for the things that you want. And what's crazy is that even if you decide that, okay, I'm not gonna fight, I'm not gonna do anything, you still suffer. You see? That's unfair. You were brought into a world where if you don't do what you are supposed to do, you are going to suffer. So you have to do the things that you are supposed to do. Isn't that slavery though? Because think about it. Slaves couldn't rebel because they will be punished for their rebellion. They had to do what the slaves' masters wanted them to do. In this world, if you don't do the things that you are supposed to do, you're going to suffer, for real. Like, you're going to suffer. So you constantly have to be doing the things that you are supposed to do. Isn't that crazy? Today I was listening to this song called Numb by Linkin Park. This is one of my favorite songs, like ever. If you don't know this song, make sure you listen to it because it's so dope. It's a very, very popular song, you know. So I believe a lot of people know this song. But there's this girl that I asked if she knows this song 3 weeks ago, and she said she doesn't know this song, and she knows a lot of songs. I was surprised that she does not know this song. So that's why I'm saying, you know, if you don't know this song, just listen to it because it's a great song. It goes like, I'm tired of being what you want me to be, feeling so faithless, lost under the surface. I'm tired of being what you want me to be, put under the pressure of walking in your shoes. Every step that I take is another mistake to you. I love the lyrics of this song because that's how most humans feel. They are forced to be something that they're not. Because once you're born into this world, you're supposed to do the things that are being done in this world. You ain't here to really be yourself. You're actually here to do the things that other people are saying you must do. The things that society is saying you must do. You ain't come here to have fun. You came here to work just like a slave. You know, so people are put under the pressure of walking in other people's shoes. That's messed up. You're supposed to do the things that other people want you to do, not what you want to do. That is why a lot of people are numb. The hook goes like, I've become so numb, I can feel you there, become so tired, so much more away. Something like that. A lot of people are numb, bro. I'm numb. Even when bad things happen these days, I don't even care. I don't even feel anything. It's crazy, man. Even when I like fall in love, I don't really feel the way that I used to feel. You know, it's like I don't believe in this world anymore. Like I don't really feel the way that I used to feel. I don't think that things are going to work out. It seems like there's something that's really, really wrong. It seems like this world was not actually designed to be a good world, for real. We're just lying to ourselves. We're just bullshitting ourselves, telling ourselves that things are going to be okay, things are going to be better. No. Things are actually supposed to be the way that they are. You know? When you really think about it, things are exactly how they were supposed to be. Like I keep on telling you that suffering is not a bug, it's a future. If you don't believe me, look at how animals live. You realize that they have to do things the way that they're doing things. They're not free. They have to be killing each other for survival. That's how it works. We're supposed to be competing for survival. We ain't supposed to be doing things together. We ain't supposed to be loving one another. We ain't supposed to understand one another. We're always supposed to have problems with one another. That's how things are supposed to be in this world. So when you really think about it, you realize that actually antinatalism is the only solution. This world is just not good for real. And there isn't anything that we're going to be able to do to make things better. Things just don't work that way. The world will always be the way that it is. So really, if we don't want to see people suffer, then we shouldn't be bringing them here, because this is a world where people suffer. It isn't a world where people have fun. I do understand that there are people that are happy in this world. There are people that are actually happy in this world. There are people that have played their cards right. There are people that were dealt the right cards and are playing these cards right. I get it. But one thing that we must understand is that not everyone is enjoying. And it's not their fault that they're not enjoying this life. Because everyone wants to enjoy this life. That's something that we must understand. There isn't a person that's in this world that does not want to enjoy their lives. It doesn't work that way. Everyone wants to enjoy their lives. There isn't a person that actually loves suffering. But things ain't working out for them. Remember, we're not helping one another in this world. It's every man for himself. We might tell ourselves that we're good people and we are trying to make this world a better place, but we're not. Every person is just trying to do their own thing, make sure that they're happy, making sure that they're succeeding, they're getting the things that they want. So really, we can't solve the problems that we have in this world if we are programmed that way. So just because some people are doing well in this world does not mean that this world is good. Because for them to do well, some people should not be doing well. You see? That's the thing. For them to be doing well, some people should not be doing well. We do not live in a world where everyone can do well at the same time. That's something that we must understand. People cannot do well at the same time. So, really, suffering is not a bug. Suffering is a future. And people have to suffer simply because they were born in a world like this. So when you think about it, antinatalism is really the only way. Because what can we do? Can we change people's minds? Can we change the minds of people that are still doing things that are causing suffering? One of my favorite vegan activists, dude, I always forget his name. It's Gary Galaf. I can't pronounce his surname. That guy was so convincing. There are people who have watched these videos that think that is wrong. That guy was so damn convincing. So if a guy like that is so convincing was not understood by a lot of people, what does that tell you? It tells you that some people don't want to change. Some people don't want to do things that are better for the world. I do understand that there are people in this world who don't believe that the vegan diet will be right for them. I get it. Right now I'm talking about people who just don't agree with Gary. People who do not see that the way that we're treating animals is not right. So we can't change people's minds. People will always be horrible. just like they've always been horrible. You might decide that you're going to be a good person. You might decide that you're going to do the right things. But you can't convince everyone to do the right thing. And one thing that you must realize is that it doesn't take a lot of people to cause suffering. One person can cause a lot of suffering. One person can cause a lot of suffering. Meaning that even if we lived in a world where the majority of people were good, there will still be a lot of suffering. Because it's not hard to cause suffering. It's very easy to cause suffering. If you want to cause suffering right now, you can cause a lot of suffering. If you decided right now that you want to cause a lot of suffering, I'm not saying that you should go and cause suffering, but I'm saying it's very easy to cause suffering. It's much easier to cause suffering than it actually is to do things that are going to contribute in a way that is positive in this world. It's actually easier to do things that are evil than it is to do things that are good. If you realize that. I mean, if I decided right now that I want to do something that is so good, like what will I do? Like right now, if I decided, like there isn't much that I can do, but if I decided that I wanted to do something that is so evil, I can do something that is so evil right now without even thinking deeply about it, because it's so easy to do things that are evil. That should tell you something about this world. It's not hard to do things that are evil. You don't have to think deeply about it. You don't have to be smart. You don't have to be an evil genius. You can be a retard and cause a lot of suffering. It's very, very easy to cause a lot of suffering. So, really, if we can't convince other people to do the right thing, then how are we going to have a good world? How are we going to have a better world? Because even if we decide that, okay, we're going to be good people, we're going to treat the animals right, we're going to treat other people right, we're going to care for the people that need us, we'll always try to do the right thing. We're not going to be causing harm. We're not going to be disrespecting other people. We're not going to be hating other people. We're going to be trying to understand other people. There will still be people out there who don't care. There will still be people out there who will be causing harm. One thing that you must understand is that even if you are a good person, you're not fighting with anyone, you don't have a problem with anyone, there are people that can decide to harm you. And that can easily harm you. We see a lot of innocent people that are suffering because there are people who have decided to do things that are harmful to them. That should tell you something. So we must think deeply before we bring people into this world, because people really do suffer here. Suffering is not a bug. Suffering is a future. So if really antinatalism is the only solution, then we should be talking about it as a collective. We shouldn't just be walking around like zombies, pretending to know what is going on. I do understand that all of us were born here. And I understand that it would be best if we try to make the best of what we have. I do understand that. But if we can't, we can't. If we've failed for many years, that should tell us something. People are not happy. There are a lot of people that are still ending their lives right now. That should tell us something. Because if we were doing the right things, the rate of suicide will be dropping every year. One thing that we must understand is that a lot of people who want to end things are not ending things because we're doing the right things. Because we think that we're doing the right things. That's why, some people who feel like ending things are not ending things. No, it has nothing to do with that. They're not ending things because they're not allowed to end things. They're being told that they're going to hurt other people if they end things. They're being told that it's illegal for them to get assistance. So they have to deal with this life, even if they do not want to deal with this life. That should tell you something. There are a lot of people who don't want to be here. There are a lot of people who don't want to do this, but they got to do this because we're forcing them to do this. Now, this is a trap for many people. So we need to wake up and ask ourselves what the heck we're doing here. No one has to suffer because we're making stupid decisions. Because another thing that you must understand is that people are not reproducing because they're super smart and they understand what needs to be done. They're reproducing because they're just following their basic instincts. That's it. It has nothing to do with them being intelligent. We're conscious now. We can think. We don't need to be controlled by our DNA. We must be able to think for ourselves. We must be able to ask ourselves if we are not slaves. If the decisions that we are making are not causing harm. If the decisions that we are making are not causing suffering. Because there are so many people in this world that are suffering, man. Imagine if we were only doing things that we were programmed to do. Imagine how messed up this world would be. I mean, it's already messed up. So imagine how it would be if we were just doing the things that we were programmed to do. We are able to see that, okay, nature does not care about us. Sometimes we need to think for ourselves. Just because I feel like I must hurt someone because I'm angry doesn't mean that I must do that. Because what you must understand is that if you feel like you must hurt someone, nature actually wants you to hurt that person. That's why you feel like you must hurt them. But you're conscious enough to realize that, nah, I don't have to hurt that person. Because morality does not exist in this world. Humanity is just afraid of itself. That's why it believes in morality. Like there is right and wrong. No, there isn't. People just need to become conscious and realize that they're slaves. They just need to become conscious and realize that there are a lot of things that they're doing that are harmful, and it's not necessary for them to be doing these things. They're causing unnecessary suffering. It's not like this world needs to continue. No, it doesn't need to continue. If you ask people, why does the world need to continue, they won't tell you why it needs to continue. They've just convinced themselves that it needs to continue. It doesn't need to continue. This world is crazy, man. This world is way too crazy for us to think that it should continue. If we respect ourselves, if we believe in ourselves, then we shouldn't be bringing more people here to suffer. We must take ourselves seriously as humans. There's nothing beautiful about suffering. People think that suffering is good because, sometimes when people suffer, they grow and end up doing the right thing. No, we're not talking about pain. We're talking about suffering. Because there's a difference between feeling pain and suffering. What I'm saying is that people are actually suffering in this world. You can choose to feel pain so that you get what you want, or so that you will improve. Like when you work out, you can work out so that you become stronger. It's not easy to wake up. You'll feel a lot of pain when you wake up, but that's not suffering. That's different from suffering. When we're talking about suffering, we're talking about things that people cannot really control. Things that are happening to them that are making them suffer, that they cannot control. Things that make them feel hopeless. Things that break them. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about suffering. So what I'm saying to you is that is completely unnecessary. No one has to suffer just because we think that the human race is special. It's not special. People are born here and they have to slave away and die. It's not like they are doing things that are actually meaningful. We like to tell ourselves that, okay, life is not meaningful. We know that. I don't think there's a person that does not know that, life is meaningless. Everyone knows that life is meaningless. But we like to tell ourselves that, you know what, just because life is meaningless does not mean that we cannot do things that are going to make it meaningful. Life is meaningless, yes, but we can do things that are going to make it meaningful. But when you look at the way that we're living our lives, there isn't anything that we're doing that is actually meaningful. We're not helping one another. That is why we still have a lot of homeless people that really need our help. Society just look at them like, damn, I hope I don't end up like that. That's the thing. Like, people are just looking at homeless people and hoping that they don't end up like those people. They're not really helping them. That's why there are lots of homeless people that really need our help. I'm not talking about people that don't need help. I do understand that there are homeless people out there that don't need help, that want to be homeless, that want to do drugs, and that want to rob people. I do understand. In Johannesburg, there are lots of homeless people that are robbing people. They want to live their lives that way. They don't want to live like civilized people. I do get it. But there are people out there that really need our help. There are people out there that have been abused when they were young. There are people out there who don't even know their relatives, or who know that their relatives won't even help them, Like, they're screwed. So they just have to live in the street. We don't help these people. There are a lot of people that are living in poverty that need help. No one is helping these people. There are lots of billionaires in the world that are not helping people that are poor. So what are we doing that's actually meaningful? Think about it. Like, what are we doing that's actually meaningful? The things that we think are meaningful are things that we're only doing for ourselves. Like having babies. You can tell yourself that, having children is actually meaningful. You're bringing someone into this beautiful, because we're delusional, right? You bring someone into this beautiful world. That's beautiful. It's the greatest thing that can ever happen to you, Being a father is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. Being a mother is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. That's meaningful. Like, no, that's not meaningful. You're just telling yourself that's meaningful. This world is too fucked up for you to be bringing people here. So really, there isn't anything that we're doing that is actually meaningful. Sometimes I look at humanity and be like, okay, you know what? I'm wrong. As an internatalist, I'm wrong. What are other humans doing? Humans that do not agree with me. What are they doing to make things better? Because they think that I'm wrong. I've decided that I'm not going to bring people into this crazy world, because the world is crazy and everyone is just insane right now. So what are they doing to make this world better? What are they doing that actually makes sense? You look at them and like, they're just gossiping about one another. They hate one another. They're competing with one another. So is that what the meaning of life is? Is that something that we should be proud of? Is that something that should make us fight for this life? Or that's just insanity, and we need to wake up and realize that there is just no hope for humanity. People are too stupid because they're always fighting. They ain't doing things that are actually meaningful. They ain't doing things that, when you look at these things, you'll be like, okay, I'm proud of humanity. No, they ain't doing that. They're just slaves competing. They're slaves competing, bruh. Hustling, trying to make more money than other people. That's it. That's what they feel like is meaningful. Don't you see that something is wrong here? Don't you see that we gotta think for ourselves before things become much worse? Because things are only going to become worse. The people that are controlling things in this world are finding new ways to enslave us, because that's what they're interested in. They want control. They want to control us. They want us to work for them. They want us to be their slaves. They want to be on top. And they're finding new ways to enslave us. That should tell you something about this world. We are not having children because we are super smart and we know what is best. We are having children because we do not think. We do not ask ourselves the most important questions. You don't even know where you are. You're just here, doing what everyone is doing. You know that a lot of people are suffering. That you know, because you're probably suffering as well. So you see that there are a lot of people that are suffering. You see that you're suffering as well. That you know, but you don't ask yourself why you must suffer. You don't ask yourself why it's necessary for you to suffer. You're just telling yourself that it's what everyone is doing. You don't even trust yourself, because if you trusted yourself, you would make your own decisions. And really, if every person in this world really trusted themselves, we'll end up reaching the same conclusion, that something is wrong here. We'll end up reaching the same conclusion. And would actually start waking up one by one. But nah. People don't want to wake up. People don't want to think. That's why we've ended up with this mess that we have today. This mess that we call our world. Antinatalism is truly the only way. When you look at what's happening in this world, you'll realize that antinatalism is really the only way, because we are not capable of solving the problems that we have. We don't think deeply enough about things. We do not even see things as they are. We are too selfish to change. So how can we solve the problems that we have? Because the problems that we have needs humanity to stand together as one and do what is right. These problems that we are having are not going to be solved by one person. There have been many people that have become our heroes, people that we are celebrating. And I ask myself why we even have heroes. It doesn't even make sense. It's crazy that humans want heroes. But there have been many people that try to do the right things, that we're still celebrating. But they haven't really changed anything, because we're still suffering. So we're just celebrating these people because they were extraordinary. But that's it, because they didn't really change anything. Look at what's happening right now in South Africa. We're still celebrating Nelson Mandela. But did he really change anything? I mean, it wasn't so long ago that he was the president of this country. Right now, young people are struggling like crazy. They don't got jobs, there's load shedding, people are broke. People don't know what the heck to do, man. People are lost. So really, he hasn't really done anything. A lot of politicians that are saying, oh, the struggle continues, the struggle continues. Yeah, the struggle will never end. We're not going to solve the problems that we have, because the problems that we have are part of this world. We're supposed to have these problems. It's not like these problems are here by mistake. No, these problems are part of this world. Humanity has to deal with these problems. So really, if we hate these problems that we're dealing with, the best decision that we can make is stop bringing more people here. Thank you, guys.